Book of Heaven, Volume 15, May 2nd, 1923. When the Fiat Voluntas Tua has its fulfillment on earth as it is in heaven, then will the complete fulfillment of the second part of the Our Father take place. I felt my poor mind as though lost in the immensity of the eternal volition, and my sweet Jesus, returning to speak about the most holy will of God, told me,
"My daughter, oh, how well your acts done in my will harmonize. They harmonize with mine, with those of my beloved Mama, and one disappears within the other, forming one single act. It seems like heaven on earth, and the earth in heaven, and the echo of one in three, and of three in one, of the sacrosanct Trinity. Oh, how sweet it sounds to our hearing, how it enraptures us, but so much as to capture our will from heaven to earth. And when my Fiat Voluntas Tua has its fulfillment on earth as it is in heaven, then will the complete fulfillment of the second part of the Our Father take place. That is, give us this day our daily bread. I said, Our Father, in the name of all, I ask you for 3 kinds of bread each day, the bread of your will, or rather more than bread, because if bread is necessary 2 or 3 times a day, this one is necessary at each moment, in all circumstances. Even more, it must be not only bread, but like balsamic air that brings life, the circulation of the divine life in the creature. Father, if this bread of your will is not given, I will never be able to receive all the fruits of my sacramental life, which is the second bread we ask of you every day. Oh, how my sacramental life feels discomforted, because the bread of your will does not nourish them. On the contrary, it finds the corrupted bread of the human will. Oh, how disgusting it is to me, how I shun it. And even though I go to them, yet I cannot give them the fruits, the goods, the effects, the sanctity, because I do not find our bread in them. And if I give something, it is in small proportion, according to their dispositions, but not all the goods which I contain. And my sacramental life is patiently waiting for man to take the bread of the supreme will, in order to be able to give all the good of my sacramental life. See then, how the sacrament of the Eucharist, and not only it, but all the sacraments, left to my church and instituted by me, will give all the fruits which they contain in complete fulfillment, when our bread, that is, the will of God, is done on earth as it is in heaven. Then I asked for the third bread, the material one. How could I say, give us this day our bread? In view of the fact that, as man would do our will, what was ours would be his, and so the Father would no longer have to give the bread of his will, the bread of my sacramental life, and the daily bread of natural life, to illegitimate, usurping, evil children, but to legitimate and good children who would share in the goods of their Father. It is because of this that I said, give us our bread. Then will they eat the blessed bread, everything will smile around them, and heaven and earth will carry the mark of the harmony of their Creator. After this, I added, forgive us our debts, as we forgive our debtors. So charity also will be perfect. Then will forgiveness have the mark of heroism, as I had it on the cross. Once man has eaten the bread of my will as my humanity ate it. Then will the virtues be absorbed into my will and receive the mark of true heroism and of divine virtues. They will be like many little rivulets which will gush forth from the bosom of the great sea of my will. And if I added, and lead us not into temptation, how could God ever lead man into temptation? It was because man is always man, free in himself, since I never take away from him the rights I gave him in creating him. And he, frightened and fearful of himself, tacitly cries out and prays without expressing it with words, give us the bread of your will, that we may reject all temptations, and by virtue of this bread, deliver us from every evil. Amen. See then how all the goods of man find again their connection, the tight bond of the pline. Let us make man in our image and likeness, the validity of each of his acts, the restitution of the lost goods, as well as the signature and the assurance that his lost happiness, both terrestrial and celestial, is given back to him. Therefore, it is so necessary that my will be done on earth as it is in heaven, that I had no other interest, nor did I teach any other prayer but the Our Father. And the Church, faithful executor and depository of my teachings, has it always on her lips and in every circumstance. And everyone, learned and ignorant, little and great, priests and laypeople, kings and subjects, all pray to me that my will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Do you not want, then, that my will descend upon earth? But just as redemption had its beginning in a virgin, as I was not conceived in all men in order to redeem them, even though whoever wants it can enter the good of redemption, and each one can receive me in the sacrament for himself alone. In the same way, now my will must have its beginning, possession, growth, and development in one virgin creature. And then, whoever disposes himself and wants it will enter the goods which the living in my will contains. Had I not been conceived in my beloved Mama, redemption would never have come. In the same way, if I do not operate the prodigy of making one soul live in my supreme will, the Fiat Voluntas Tua on earth as it is in heaven will not take place in the human generations.
Thank you for being a part of our community here at Divine Will app. If you enjoy listening to Jesus' lessons on how to live in the divine will, please give this video a thumbs up. Your likes help us reach more souls yearning to live in the kingdom of the divine will. We'd love to hear your thoughts and reflections, so drop a comment below. Your insights not only enrich our community, but also inspire others on their spiritual journey. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel. By joining us, you're helping to spread the news of the kingdom of the divine will, so that together we can bring His kingdom to reign on earth as it is in heaven. In the divine will, always.